you running from? I'm with my team, we greatness, what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from? What you running from? I'm with my team, we greatness, what you wanted, huh? Just what you wanted. It's what you wanted, huh?
Let's do that over. I did not know I had the music running double in the background. Let's get that all over again.
What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game, but shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox. Spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talking, no riddling. Moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That flash making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's it a saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game, but shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And on this incredible Monday, it's a fun day. If you didn't know, it was better than Sunday, even though Sunday had some stuff going on. If you got a chance to watch Iron Lord's podcast yesterday, you got a chance to see me in my Pikachu suit. But along with me, you saw it's a me, Attic. And Attic had on his Mario suit, and we was the Smash Brothers. But next weekend, you get a chance to see Smash Brothers Part 2 as the twerk team is up for grabs. We're going to find out who twerks the best. Is it Lord Cognito in his Bowser costume, or is it Lord Sovereign in his Yoshi costume? We're getting this done to have some fun because we're on our way to Germany, Cologne. We're going to have fun. But I want to give a shout out to Eric Von Eric, being the first one in the chat. I want to say what's up to B Nice, Lamont Davis, Paulie Baba 2, Legendary Intel, blessings, brother. Glad to see that you're here. Neil's New Soul 9, what is that? Sinjo 86, and Cypher 045. I just want to give a shout out to you guys for being here because I appreciate you guys for showing up. Yesterday was fun. Now, we did have somebody on that kicked my behind in Street Fighter. And listen, man, he's a ringer and he's dope. And I'm going to try to get him on to, hang out with us on Fight Night Fridays. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get Maximilian on because I am associates with Max. Me and Max is not friends, but I know him. And, every time we speak, we're cordial. I don't know if he's just being cordial just because he's like, hey, big black guy. But me and him is like the same height. Actually, Max is a little bit taller, which is crazy. Anytime I see somebody taller than me, I'm like super happy. Because that very rarely happens. But yeah, Sunday was so much fun. And then, we wheeled our way into Monday. Started off today pretty good. Pretty strong day. Got home. As soon as I got home, went out, did my exercise extremely early. So, we do 15 laps around the track. That is equal to, 4.5 miles. And so you count the mile that you walked in, you count the mile that you walked back. But, 4.5 miles there. And then what I incorporated now is every time I do a lap, I do 10 push-ups. Every time I do a lap, do 10 push-ups. So, yeah. Me and my wife bang out those push-ups. You should have saw her face. And I told her when I didn't, I was counting, but she wasn't counting. She didn't know. And, then I got a chance to give it a high five at the end. Oh. You know what it is. It's that beat to make you move feet. That beat to move your feet. Let's go. Let's give a shout out to Legendary Intel's member for 14 months. I salute you, Soldier S rank. I had to reset the past week. Happy to be back. Blessings. Yo, listen, man. Anytime you can take a break, anytime that you can meditate, get back to self, that's a blessed thing. Not too many people know when to center themselves, right? Am I right? Sometimes people are balling out of control and they need other people to slow them down. So I'm glad you took the break off. I'm glad that you're back and we can get right back to it on Fight Night Friday this week. Now, I'm still putting this clutch Talon controller from HyperX through its paces. I haven't switched up the analogs yet. I might do that. I did switch up the D-pad. So the D-pad, like I told you, this comes off and you're able to remove different parts of it. They're magnetic. They go on. This is like having an elite controller for the fraction of a cost. But it's light. Has the buttons inside the back. It has the bumper, well, the trigger stops here. You can have it full trigger, or you can stop it up halfway, trigger finger shots. But this controller is pretty good right now. So what I do is I measure them up against other controllers, right? Like the 8-bit do. This controller is cool in the sense that if you need an alternate to the mainstay, I think this is a great alternate to the main controller. But when you get to the Elite series, I'm using the Razer Wolverine version 3 Pro. So I'm comparing them to. So right now on customizations, the HyperX controller beats it, right? But the gravitas, the feel of the Razer is a little bit more hefty. I got to compare the rumbles to each other. So I'm doing it this week and I'm going to do like a head to head at some point in time. But they send out these controllers to us and they ask for our honest opinion. And I did go on a crazy win streak with the HyperX Talon controller. So am I attributing it to the controller? My enthusiasm for the controller? I'm still putting it through its paces with other games that I'm playing as well. Game Pass has a ton of games this week. We're going to get into those games as well. I do want to talk about what Xbox is doing and the potential that Xbox has going forward with a lot of games. But this year so far has been a really good year for video games. This has been one of our best years for video games. If you are a consumer and you're not a content creator and you're not a gossip column, outside of the layoffs in the industry, I know it may seem like only Xbox is laying people off, but throughout the whole industry, the industry is upside down. And, one of my, good friends, Paris Lockhart, Lucky Charms, is no longer at Xbox. And I think he made a post today. So I don't really tell people business. So I'm only saying something after the post that he made today. Let me see if I can pull that post up really quickly. Because that's a friend. Now, when it's a difference when you have associates, but he's a friend and not just an associate. All right, so I'm gonna share the screen. All right, after 12 years at Microsoft Xbox, I learned last week that my role, along with others, was eliminated as part of the broader Xbox change. I am deeply grateful for the experiences and relationships throughout my time there, and I really appreciate connecting with the fans. And this is a picture that he put up. That's him with Hip Hop Gamer and, Southbound. If y'all don't know who Southbound is, trust me, man, you should know. This is Sean LeBray. He got an Xbox 25th anniversary cookie. Here's Iron Lords down here at the bottom. This is his desk. I guess him cleaning out his desk. And this is him on the campus there. And knowing what he contributed to Xbox, understanding who he is as a person, I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done. You were and continue to be a shining light that was at Xbox. You were one of our confidants when it came to certain things, and we didn't, talk about anything outside, on air and stuff like that you told us in confidence. A great guy. This is the part that sometimes you guys don't get a chance to see, right? And as content creators that actually start to go out to these events and start to meet these individuals, and then we start building relationships with them, it becomes very hard because we know how volatile the industry is. And when I told you that I was really upset that people was using the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, when it comes, and that's, the FUD, when it comes to these people losing their jobs, for a lot of people, these are just talking points. But then for people that get up and go out to these places, these are faces, these are people with lives, these are friends, these are people that matter. So he's one of the people that has my phone number that we can actually talk and stuff like that, and we do. So when he left, it kind of left a void. You understand? Because we had stuff that we were planning as well. So at the end of the day, I know how great of a person he is. He's definitely going to land on his feet, and we're definitely going to have him on Iron Lords, to talk about his experiences and all this other stuff. But a class act, if you don't understand how to be a class act, this is a class act. After 12 incredible years at Microsoft/Xbox, I learned last week that my role, along with others, were eliminated. So what he did was he included other people as well, because it's not just him. And as part of the broader Xbox change, I am deeply grateful. Do you understand? I am grateful because the day that you got the job, you have that same gratefulness going forward. With a grateful heart, you will always see your cup as half full instead of half empty. For the experiences and relationships throughout my time there, and I really appreciated connecting with the fans. That's the best part about it. He was hands-on when we went to Fan Fest. He was there. That picture that you see at the bottom was at the Fan Fest. And again, I salute him for being the bigger man in a situation where I know his role is absolutely vital. When I tell you that his role is so vital, it's because something is happening right now that he would have been overseeing, right? And the fact that he's not there, there's something going on right now that I'm going to touch on at some point, because I need more information on it to make sure that it's more widespread. But that was his department. And if his department is no longer there were certain things that Xbox was trying to do with a certain feature that if that department isn't there, that is going to fall flat. And that was one of the reasons why they raised the price on Game Pass. So I'm not ready to talk about it yet. I don't have everything yet, but the more information that I do gather, when I do talk about it, you're going to understand how vital he was in that spot. And it just so happens that immediately the repercussions are felt when individuals weren't in place. But and you're going to notice that a lot of stuff that I talk about, he'll be able to corroborate when we do have that conversation. And it's not to smear Xbox, it's not to smear Microsoft, because again, they're not the only ones facing these layoffs in the industry. They are just the ones that are, I guess, pushes the algorithm forward, and individuals, need that type of stuff. So I don't know, but I knew the day that it happened, because that's the first thing that I do. I reach out to my friends immediately when I hear there's any layoffs, and I ask, are they okay and stuff like that. and he was one of the ones that came back with the somber news. We had a couple of friends over at Bethesda that we actually interact with on a regular basis, and we're just hoping that these people will find a landing pad. And so, 2K is, offering jobs, and there's some stuff happening in New York City again. So, I mean, hey, he get closer to the town. We could take him around. He can see the city. You understand? Yo, you come to New York. Hey, man, I got you. So it's going to be a positive. There's always going to be a positive. See, you saw the guy that did what he did with Outer Worlds 2, and I would hope that was in jest, right? Because potential employers look at your social media, and if that is your behavior, that's a toxic trait that isn't wanted in the workplace. So not every time you're going to win, but you got to learn how to win with grace and lose with grace. And, that's, Paris Lockhart, he lost with grace. But it's not a loss. He has experiences. He has a whole bunch of things. And I'm pretty sure it was his dream job, getting his dream job there. So he said PlayStation is dead in 2030. Bro, the way this industry is going, this industry looks crazy. This is why it's so important for Xbox to nail next year. It's absolutely important. Excuse me. It's absolutely important because if they don't nail next year, 2028 looks a lot more spookier. Look at the Steam machine. The Steam machine, price-wise, has put it at an impasse. A lot of dudes that was capping, that was going to get it. Listen, when I was looking at the price point for the thing, I was like, $500-$600. Yeah, I'll get one. $1,000? Nah, B. There's nothing that it does that makes me feel that I need that machine. And don't tell me, because it pairs up with its VR. I use an Oculus 3. I don't have to pair up to anything. And if I do, I can just leverage the power of my PC and just play off of that. So that doesn't entice me. I have a PlayStation VR 2. So again, that doesn't entice me. It has to do something fantastic. And right now the Steam machine doesn't. And then with a lot of people catching the red ring of death or the red line of death or the red line of doom and the game crashing. I don't know. But Xbox needs to step up, and they need to step up next year. Now, we do have some information. Oh, I salute you, Soldier. Sith Lord. That's my dude, man. Member for 30 months. Soldier S rank. I salute you. I pray people find new work ASAP. The cream rises to the top. And pause. And I can pretty much guarantee everyone of substance will find a landing spot. If you were networking while you were working, you're going to find a spot. If you were an engineer or you were a programmer that is damn good about their job, you will find a spot. Lord Cognito looks at the industry and he says, a lot of people fall out of this industry, but then they don't come back. If you're passionate about this thing, it's like a musician. That song will always be in your heart. I picked up a comic book the other day. Like I ordered some comic books, and I had got the Avengers Sanctions, like X Sanctions. And there's a story about Cable. And he had came back from the future because Hope, his daughter, had died. And he had a son that passed, but He was trying to prevent her death. And apparently the Avengers were the ones who brought her death about in the future. So he went back in the past to try to stop him. So one by one, he started hunting the Avengers. It was a dope book. And I read the book from cover to cover as soon as I got it. And that was the first time in a long time that I felt that urge, like that. I gotta read this. I gotta finish this. The last time I did was a Wolverine book, but McGinnis draws it. I love his artwork because he reminds me of John Byrne from back in the days, the one who took over the Sensational She-Hulk, that transformed her from the Savage She-Hulk to the Sensational She-Hulk. And I must be on some wave right now because the Marvel juices is actually flowing. Pause. With X-Men 97 and, episode 4 coming out. And because I've been watched 1 through 3, episode 4, and Age of Apocalypse being one of my fantastic villains. I actually like him a lot. I like his mantra. And then Spider-Man coming out with the Hulk inside it, with the Punisher in it. Then I got a chance to see a lot of other enemies that are going to be, or villains that's going to be inside the movie. I'm just like balling on all cylinders. So I do want books, and I started looking at a couple of statues that I did want. And I'm just like, I want to hunt them down, like, because there's a couple of Archangel statues that I want. I want the XM Studio one. I want the Sideshow one, and I want the Bowen. And then there's like a bust. Those things aren't cheap, regardless if the market fell out or not. But comic books got my passion flowing, and reading that book. So if your passion is there, don't give up. Always lean into your passion, and it's going to work out. I have true belief in that. I don't look at the industry as the giant void that everybody thinks, because I'm going to tell you something. And you know what? I'm going to talk about this first, because I was going to talk about something else first, but I'm going to talk about this first. Game Pass is going through a metamorphosis. If you didn't know, I'm going to bring this bad news to you, right? This is brought to you by Pure Xbox and Fraser Gilbert. 7 games are confirmed for Xbox Game Pass this week from July 13th to the 17th. Starting off with Ascent to Zero. I started playing that game today, and I tweeted it out. It was one of my games to finish up my 8 games for the month. So I'm already 8 games in for the month. So now I'm just working on time and playing games in Game Pass every day, which is an easy one to do. If you just play Fortnite every day, you can actually get your achievements that way. Automatically, you're going to hit the number. But this week, we start off with Ascent to Zero. If you don't know what Ascent to Zero is, let me show you what it is. It's a dope game. I was having fun playing it today. It's a time stopper type of game. Roguelike.
Stay sharp.
You pick your avatars. You see that?
Load up.
It's a dope game.
Stay close. All aboard. System live.
The concept behind it is fire. It's in Game Pass right now. It's in Game Pass right now. Oh, that thing talks to you. That thing kind of brings you back and forth. So what it did was, hold on, stars right here. What it did was, it brings you back and it talks to you. So it's funny that whole thing. This game was a good start to the week for me. It's definitely a game I'm going to download and play on my Xbox ROG Ally X because I like playing games like that on it. It reminds me of what is that other roguelike game? Jeez, is slipping my mind right now. But okay, so pro bowling. Not into a pro bowling, but maybe it looks good. Let's see what pro bowling looks like.
Coverage of the PBA
But that's
Players
this week.
Championship. Some of the best bowlers in the world have made their way here.
Oh, Money
and are
Afro
ready to
crazy
compete.
as hell. He looked like the Peyton dude, Bob Ross.
Moneyball.
He looked like Bob Ross' son.
Oh yes. Nice.
Yo, that dude that looked like Brian McCaffrey. Not him.
Crushed the pins with that. Yes. Perfect 2-4 with an opening hand boat.
Yeah, I gotta, break it up a little bit because it got some music in the background. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is that? Yo, who's out here playing bowling like this? Who's doing this? I got a friend of mine that does this professionally. I gotta tell him Xbox got a game.
Amazing. Got the 410. Oh yeah, Rob, that was perfect.
Brought to you by Foresight Studios. That's what's up. I don't think that is something that I would download and play. I don't think it's something that would resonate with me. But you know what's funny? That's an icebreaker date. That's a date. You go, you play some bowling, that and pool. I think pool is, a little bit cooler, but bowling is definitely a thing. Okay, this thing here. This.
Go!
I was like, what the hell is going on here?
やるな
Out of control. This reminds me of Jet Set Radio
うまいじゃん
with a train. That's wild business.
補給するぞ
That looks kind of dope.
危ねえぜ
You can battle people head to head. Oh.
電車アタック
So that kind of reminds me of Jet Set Radio, reminds me of those wonky games, reminds me of Crazy Taxi, it reminds me of Sega at its peak. The game looks fantastic. I'm not going to hold you. It looks like something that I'll try on Game Pass. This one comes out on the 15th. This one comes out on the 14th. This one comes out on the 13th. That's today. All right, Quarantine Zone. Let's check this out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is the joint with the virus. Oh. Yeah, this is a wild game. Yeah, this is a wild game. This is a wild one. That's a wild one. I'm gonna try that just for the giggles of it. That's a wild one. All right. Mavericks. I got respect to my man, Legendary Intel, my bro. What's good?
At Legendary Intel donated $1.99.
He said I'm a
for
real
super
wild
chat.
one.
It's
wild
hella fun.
It is. People do that in real life. That's the wildest thing about that. That is absolutely bananas. That's crazy. All right, and the last one, oh, you have two more for that. Fix Force, whatever that is. Yo, I was playing this game that was like Ratchet and Clank, but it's like Bender.
Your shift is starting soon. After you arrive on the worksite, just remember, Force. Find
I'm gonna tell you what I
needs
think Game
fixing.
Pass is turning
Operate
into.
your drill wrench to build your way around. Retrieve the parts you need. Complete the fix and exit the worksite sharpish when you're done. Follow these 5 steps and you're guaranteed a safe, smooth and stress-free shift.
Oh, fuck.
Guys, this is what we need. A bed frame, a garbage can, and a microwave.
Let's go.
I'm taking your battery.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? But, get back here.
Hey.
Ooh, bouncy.
Found the trash can. We've got everything we need. We just need to.
We don't have everything we need.
Right, I'm here.
Oh my god. Yeah,
What the
Whose
hell?
head is this?
No, I've got your body.
Oh, thank you, Zoe.
Here we go. Oh, you did it!
Yo. These are the fun games that I like to play with friends.
Get off me!
You have to bend over.
I found it.
This is going great.
How are you dead immediately?
Yo.
Let's get out of here.
That looked like some fun stuff that I play with my friends. Some stupid. Trust me, I'm silly. All right, let's see what this is. Fog Pincer. What is this? A train game? What? What the hell is this? What is this, like a turn-based train? What? Card-based? I gotta read the description. What the hell? I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm doing this Game Pass segment real quickly. Fog Pencil. Alright, so what they say is this. This is Fight Through the Fog, in a sci-fi roguelike deck builder where clever positioning, explosive chain reactions, and the environment itself can make the difference between life and death. Okay, hold on. I think I'm waiting for a package to show up. No, that's my wife. Yeah, I'm waiting for a package to show up. I hate when packages from sponsors come late. All right, so what I think Game Pass is going to do, and this, I know we have Beast of Reincarnation showing up in a minute, but what I think Game Pass is turning into, and I think Asha's perspective, you see those indie titles that show up day and date? I think you're going to get a lot more of that stuff. You're going to get a lot more of experimental titles from like Capcom, if Konami ever push out a game, EA, stuff like that, that the first party new IPs will launch inside Game Pass. That way they can fulfill that 70 games per year type of thing that they said, while also releasing first party titles. And now I think at some point in time, Game Pass would stop first party day and date, especially if they're going back to exclusives. And if they're going back to exclusives, there's some stuff that you're going to have to put inside Game Pass that won't reach the Xbox platform in order to make the Game Pass the standout. That if you want Game Pass to hit the number of like 50 million to 100 million, it has to have something that you can't get anywhere else, right? It has to have something. And cloud gaming isn't it. Now, I use cloud gaming as my hustle. When I'm getting my 8 games per month, because I have Game Pass Ultimate, and this is for those people that are trying to stack points, let me explain how you can. You can go to each game, play them for 15 minutes, and you can do it through the cloud. That way you don't add them to your hard drive. You're not taking off a game, adding a game, this, that, and the third. Plus, it also gives you a chance to see how the game is. I have really good internet, so I don't have any real latency. I don't perceive it. And a lot of my consoles is hardwired in. So that way I get a chance to get around that part. But that's how I get my points, right? And I go through seeing all of these titles. I think this is what they're going to do. I don't think cloud is a good enough gimmick. It sounded dope before, but it's so many casuals and so many hardcore that are adverse to cloud that cloud doesn't seem like it's a good pick. Now, we have a little problem. And I heard about this before. And I wanted to bring this up before we get to all the other good stuff because the industry is on a high note. But I can't talk about the high note without bringing out the bad first. Let's get rid of the bad first. Because I heard this before. But it's not my job to go around spreading gossip. That's one. 2, it's not my job to go and leak information. Right? Let somebody else leak the information. Let us talk about it. Because if you want leakers, if you want that, you got Nate the Hate, you got those individuals, you got Jazz, you got these individuals that's their persona, that's what they work with. That's not what I work with, right? So this here is brought to you by WCCF Tech, and who's talking about this? Alesso Palumbo. Pierre Heinz berated Halo teams and dismissed work-life concerns, sources claim, as Xbox leadership stayed silent. Now, my question is, why is it always centered around 343, Halo, team? Why is it that particular studio seems to be snake bitten by no matter who they put there, no matter what goes on? Why is this particular studio seem to have bad juju? Halo Studios leaker Rubes Gaming, who previously delivered several reports on the upcoming Halo titles, has now dedicated his latest video to alleged mismanagement of the studio's leadership. Oh, let's get it. Hollywood rules. Yeah, man, I'm dying of thirst down here.
At Hollywood Rules donated $2 through Super Chat. Saluting face emoji, to the general wishing my dude a good mon.
Blessings. Yo, I hope your weekend was dope with the grilling and the cookout. I hope it was fun. Rubes Gaming sources blame specifically studio head Pierre Heinz. I got a chance to meet him. He was a cool dude. This is the wildest thing, right? But again, I don't work with him. All right? I just want you to know that. He was the coolest dude, but I don't work with him. Right? Who reported has created a hostile environment and mismanaged projects while Microsoft HR and senior Xbox leadership allegedly failed to intervene. Heinz was promoted from production lead to studio head on September 13th, 2022, amid a company-wide restructuring that followed Halo Infinite. I am so upset that Halo Infinite didn't do the episodic content that I was promised. I'm going to be real with you. I wanted more story. I wanted more of that. I wanted more of that Lego block type of mentality when it came to Halo Infinite. And the fact that we did not get that kind of rubs me the wrong way. All right, Rubes Gaming has received accounts from current and former Halo Studio staff who spoke anonymously because they are constrained by NDAs. Now, I want you to notice that part is true. A lot of these individuals that have been let go, that from these studios that have from different key places, are under NDAs for I don't know what is the period of time, or worried about retaliation, and presented the video as an effort to pressure Microsoft into changing Halo Studios leadership. According to these sources, Hines caused repeated HR complaints, abusive behavior towards employees, poor project planning, shifting priorities, and a broader erosion of morale. More specifically, the video accuses Hines of routinely berating development teams to the point that the staff allegedly became reluctant to show him work. Rules Gaming even quotes an alleged "I don't give an F" response from Hines to an engineering memo about work-life balance, and further claims he dismissed questions about workers gaining full-time status or better opportunities. One unnamed former staffer who worked close to leadership says Hines verbally attacked him, told him to leave the studio, then subsequently appeals to Microsoft HR and legal were ignored. Then Rules Gaming started naming employees who were slighted. Michael Fernie, for instance, head of production and executive producer at Halo Campaign Evolve, due to launch very soon, was a longtime friend of Hines, but was allegedly berated during the project's troubled development, demoted, took medical leave, and was then quietly dismissed during that leave. In a report, Rubes Gaming noted that Matt Booty promoted Hines. The decisive support for his ascension to lead Halo Studios came from Craig Duncan, then head of Xbox Game Studios. It alleged Duncan had known Hines for a long time and was meant to mentor him, but really did so because Duncan was based in London. Now, this is funny because if Duncan is no longer there, remember Craig Duncan left earlier with O'Connell. That was like the week before all that stuff started happening. If this comes out that Duncan appointed him out of nepotism, and not just because he was related, because he's not related, but I'm talking about friendship-wise, Duncan is not there to be held accountable. Right? So this is that layer of insulation that we were talking about that Asha is removing. The video mentions two more people at the leadership level within Halo Studios, Chris Matthews, and the studio art director allegedly hired personal friends rather than the most qualified candidates, with Rubes Gaming criticizing this as cronyism and adding that the former art director, Glenn Israel, publicly confirmed the claim on LinkedIn. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. This is crazy. And lastly, an unnamed source claims that the chief operating officer, Elizabeth Van Wyck, who's responsible for the studio's finances, was frequently focused on personal matters, including vacations, rather than Halo business. It's not a pretty outlook on the Halo studio as a whole. Just 2 weeks out of big release, should the studio choose to comment on the report, we'll update the story. Now, let me start by saying a couple of things. That's some crazy indictment that they actually put people's names to it. But before we jump the gun, before we get crazy, before we go out there with the pitchforks, you know how we do, he say, she say, and then everybody start acting crazy. Could stuff be retaliatory? You see, I think if Halo Campaign Evolve comes out and falls flat, then I think that then you start seeing stuff. But if that thing goes wild, nothing will come from that. You're only as good as your last fight. You're only as good as your last game. They still need to take cuts. Halo Studio didn't have any cuts. Launch the game, see what happens, and then I don't know, man. I'm in the camp of I'm not gonna victim shame a victim, especially if their name is attached to it. But people have to answer for this stuff. If HR did nothing, then what's going on? If the chief financial officer that is tied to Halo Studios was on vacations and was AFK, AWOL, if you will, is there mismanagement of money? Like, and then if the head of the studio, which was alleged that he got that position based upon cronyism, well, is Halo in good hands? My thing is like, why is it always Halo though? Like, damn, man. Like, I would be cool if it was something like, what's that? The Blinks, the Time Slipper, you know, the cat. Like, why Halo though? I just like Halo to be great. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people, right? I want Halo to be great. But speaking of greatness, this year, despite all the stuff that's going on, we have a really good year. Like we have been a really good year. Like, I want y'all to really appreciate the level of gaming that we are getting done, and at the level these games are. There's so many different games that are vying for Game of the Year. And let's just talk about them. Let's just see them, right? Let's just talk about them. Today is a reflection day on how wonderful of a year that we have it. And we're at the halfway point, right? Let's get to that part, right? Let's get to that. Let's get back to that. Like, well, more than halfway, you know, past June, more than halfway. But come on, man. Let's get back to that. Right, and this is brought to you by Pure Xbox and my man Frazier Gilbert. He doesn't know he's an official K&N reporter, and we appreciate the hard work that he puts in for the channel. Right, like who doesn't appreciate a Frazier Gilbert? I appreciate you, Frazier. If they don't appreciate you, I appreciate you. Come to the town, man. We make sure, man, take you out for a drink. You don't drink? We'll buy you at Glizzy a hot dog from the stand. Yeah. If you ain't had a hot dog from the stand out in the street with hot dog water, you ain't have it at all. Pause. Metacritic unveils its top 20 games for the first half of 2026, and Xbox takes the #1 spot. So we're going to start off with Forza Horizon 6 being an overall 90 Metacritic, with Mina the Howler coming in at #2 at an overall 90 Metacritic. I don't know what separated them two from one and from the next, if they're both 90, but if Xbox takes the win, I'm going to go with Xbox all the time. Now, I do want Mina the Howler inside Game Pass. That would be nice. Now, I don't know, Pokemon Poketopia 89, Resident Evil Requiem 89, 007 First Light 87, Soros 87. Listen, if Soros is the 87, how come we haven't heard anything else about Soros, right? My thing is, like, come on now. Like, come on, PlayStation, dude. Start pumping up your games, man. Start pumping up your games. What else we got here? Noah 3 got an 86. I mean, you got Soros at 87, Noah 3 at an 86. Come on, man. I mean, the game should be out on Xbox, right? I'm just saying, man. Come on, man. Mixtape is an 86. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. That's an 86. That's a game that I want to play. And I'm skipping a bunch of games going through. And I know if I skip one of your favorite games that you're playing right now, put it in the chat. Talk about that. Talk about that. Talk about the great games that you're playing this year, because this year, outside of any other year, has produced a ton of games. Man, a ton of good games that I think are definitely worth it. Pragmata, 85. That is my game of the year. Now, I know you're going to laugh at me. I like that old 360 type of feel, Lost Planet type of game. I love using every aspect of the controller. I love the dexterity of the movements of the character, coupled with the AI that was on her shoulder, the robot girl. I just thought that was creativity at its finest. And the game was just the right length, pause. The musical score was perfect, graphical, it was intense, it was great. And see, they could have easily went wrong with that, with the quick twitch nature of the game, where you had to shift around and stuff like that, and the camera never became a problem. I can't say ever that I played it and the camera was a problem. Actually, I want to go back and play it because I want to play it with all the new weapons and the new game plus. I just got swept up in playing so many other stuff. And you got, Wax Heads, and you got Phonopolis. But a ton of games, man. And this is the Xbox list of all of these games that are on Xbox. Now, Hades 2, that's the game that I was talking about that other game. It reminded me of Hades and Hades 2. Hades and Hades 2 is a little bit more top shelf. I look at those games as AAA games. I'm talking about the Ascent to Zero game that's inside Game Pass right now, but that has a nice little gameplay loop in it. So, but Hades is definitely the template. You got Hades with a 95, and here's the Xbox list, all right? Resident Evil Requiem, Mixtape, Forza Horizon 6, 007 First Light, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Integrate, Pragmata, Vampire Crawlers, Legos Batman, Monster Hunter Stories, Reanimals. Reanimals is dope. Attic and I played it. Creepy as hell. Dope. Wife is like, I don't know what you're doing playing that game. Marathon, listen, man, we watching Marathon die a horrible death, and it sucks. Mouse PI for Hire, I did a review on that. I played that on my PlayStation 5 Pro. I played it on my Series X. I played it on my Xbox ROG Ally X, and I played it on my Steam Deck. I reviewed each and every last copy of that game based upon the platform that I played it on. The game runs phenomenally on all platforms. Planet of Lana 2, I was supposed to play that. I played a little bit of it. I stopped playing it. Memories in Orbit, that was kind of fun. EA Sports UFC 6, didn't play that. And anybody that's trying to get me to play that, little Ray, after you beat my butt, you think I'm coming back? Not going to happen. Life is Strange Reunion, don't really care for those games. Yakuza 3 and Dark Ties. WWE 2K26, didn't play that. And Romeo is a Dead Man. That's the last game, and that's the 20th game, and I want to play Romeo is a Dead Man. I'm going to wait to catch it on sale. I'm going to get that game. I was hoping that it would fly inside Game Pass so I could try it out, but it didn't happen in that order. So again, I don't know. Now, let me say something, and I'm going to drop this topic out right here. That topic is gone. I'm going to say something. And I'm not grifting off of this part because this is a huge talking point when it comes to the PlayStation 6. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know what it is. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. We're going to run it up on these bums. The fact of the matter is, with all this terrible news that the PlayStation is receiving, with their CEOs and higher ups in the company selling stocks, selling shares, this is a raise for concern. This is a concern that we all should be taking note of. We should be looking forward to as far as Xbox people. And if you're a PlayStation person, you should be looking out for this stuff. But Xbox has an opportunity to do something that PlayStation damn right won't. And I'm talking about this. This is brought to you by Push Square. PlayStation 5's physical disc debacle will attract more anger if this Xbox rumor is true. Next week could be interesting. Now, everybody has been hearing the same thing, that Xbox is going to come out to this whole digitize your disc thing. And we don't know how it's going to happen or what's the mechanisms for it to happen. Do you go to a store? Do you do it yourself? Whatever it does, We're going to figure this out. And once that happens, I want to know what happens to your physical games. What goes on there? The initial wave of anger over Sony's decision to cease manufacturing physical discs in 2028. If you didn't know, now you know. If you was away a week and you didn't know what the hell is going on and what the hell I'm talking about, Sony has put out, and this is from Sony themselves. This is not no leak. This is not no rumor. This is not a question. This is Sony themselves said in January 2028, they will cease production of physical discs. Has passed, and while the platform holder is still getting peppered with negative comments across the socials, this thing is slowly starting to burn itself out, especially when you idiots run out and go get Black Ops 1 and 2 just because you got, and it's only on digital, just because you guys can't hold the line. I'm just saying, I'm looking at you, and y'all got these petitions, but y'all not standing by them. An incoming announcement from Xbox could ironically bring all this back to the fore. However, it is widely rumored that Microsoft will introduce a new Xbox Series console feature next week, which would allow players to digitize a physical disc. The feature, which will only support Xbox Series consoles and Xbox One's discs, not Xbox 360 and Xbox original games, is codenamed Project Pistron and would effectively tie digital licenses to physical discs. If that happens, then you might as well kick PlayStation down the block. But there's a video game retailer that is praying, asking, hoping that Xbox takes the reins and continues to push forward and make sure that Project Helix comes out with a disc drive. This is brought to you by Level Up. And who is the individual that wrote the article? Is it said here? No. Let me see if it's down at the bottom. About the author. Nope. I can click it, but nope. I guess it goes to their socials. All right, so video game retailer urges Xbox and Asha Sharma to champion physical games with the Project Helix, just as Sony did with the PlayStation 4. First of all Sony did was a lot of smoke and mirrors. But anyway, not to go back in the past, not to rehash old things, right? You want Xbox to lie to you. But anyway, Video Game Plus wants Microsoft to stand with consumers and continue to support players who prefer buying games on disc. PlayStation's decision to phase out physical games beginning in 2028 sent shockwaves through the industry. For many, the move reflects a long-term strategy of major platform holders and publishers, accelerating the transition toward an all-digital future and increased revenue in the process. However, millions of players still prefer purchasing games on disc or game cards and don't want to lose the option. The shift also presents a major challenge for video game retailers that continue to rely on physical discs. Listen, and sales. Listen, I understand that. I understand the moment that they no longer have discs, is going to be a sharp decline inside stores. If you haven't been to Best Buy lately, trust me, go to the gaming section and you're going to be appalled at what you see. But at the same time, before you get to the gaming section that's in the back, to the left of you when you walk in the store, and this is kind of how my stores are, the movie section has taken a huge hit. Remember when the movie section used to have rows and rows of movies? Well, now it has got to just one damn kiosk, basically, of movies on front and back, like one stand. Just check it out with a little TV screen in the middle. It is wild to see that how we have gone from being a physical culture to a digital culture in such a short period of time. And it has been accelerated by these big, large companies that want to incentivize going digital to make sure they can maximize profits. Now, one of those retailers is now calling on Xbox and Asha Sharma to embrace the physical media through Project Helix by ensuring the company's next generation platform includes a disk drive. That's the whole part of the description of the video today. And my question to you individuals are, do you believe that Xbox will produce a disk drive? I'm in the camp of no. Because Xbox has been championing the whole digital life from the beginning. With Xbox Play Anywhere, XPA, being one of their main pillars when it comes to the platform, I don't see how they continue to support physical. Actually, I think they're more further along down the road than PlayStation. And the vitriol that they received in the Xbox One generation when they took the slings and the arrows, the outrage was incredible. But could you imagine? You see, this is where the bait and switch comes in. Sony comes in after they sold 90 million and say, well, we're not going to do physical no more. That's kind of a kick in the nuts, especially when you started the PlayStation 4 generation off saying, yo, we're going to do physical. And your whole crux of everything was physical. It would be crazy if Asha, the Empress, decides to include a disk drive. That would be wild, right? Think about it. It only costs like $12, but the mentality behind it is stronger, right? It's a stronger mentality to it because you did what PlayStation did in reverse. You would force the next iteration of the PlayStation to have a disk drive. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you how it won't have a disk drive. And this is brought to you by Level Up. PlayStation 6 and the next generation portable console reportedly delayed amid ongoing hardware crisis. Now, not for one day did I ever believe that the PlayStation 6 was coming out in 2027. Ever. Actually, I'm the only one standing on my square telling you that it's not coming out at all. That thing won't make it out. But in the same breath, I can acknowledge that handheld is showing up next year. If you think Xbox is going to be outside with a Project Helix, and you think they're going to allow Xbox to have a whole full year by themselves in the marketplace, you are crazy. The handheld will come out. It will go head to head up against the Helix. It will outsell the Helix based upon the price. The price is going to be cheaper than a Steam Deck, but more than a Switch 2. But as powerful as a base PlayStation 5 and dockable to your television. And it's going to be an all digital device. Now, that's not to discount them talking about the PlayStation 6. But by the time the PlayStation 6 is actually truly ready to come out, which is 2030, there won't be a market for it. The storage, the memory, the RAM, every component will cost too much. I told you I'm standing on my square where I'm telling you that the Xbox Helix, Project Helix, is going to come out and it's going to be $14.99. With the Steam Machine's max evolution of the device is at $14.48. $14.99 for a Project Helix that will dwarf that little thing of a machine as far as specs, power, and deliverability, backlog, everything. It's just the Steam Machine is just an inept piece of equipment. But Project Helix is set to set pace. It's him, the device. So, seeing that both are going to be vying for shelf space next year, who's going to win Amazon's gadget of the year type of stuff? If Project Helix launches with a disk drive, then it can possibly give that PlayStation handheld a severe run for its money, even if the handheld itself is like $800. Oh, let's go, Legendary Intel. I salute you, bro.
At Legendary Intel donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Steam machine too small. It's overheating trying to keep up. Ha.
Yo, facts. Like, that's wild. The ventilation system and the stuff that they were championing on the device isn't like living up to our normal standards. But this is something that Gabe has to figure out over a period of time. But this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, The King. I go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on the weekend I drop videos for the masses. If you didn't see in my last video, I'm going to take the time out at some point in time, and I'm going to give away to, I think, at least 3 to 5 lucky members one of these Iron Lord wall plaques with the 3D wolf. It's dope. It's incredible. Controllers, everything there, hang it on your wall. And I do have some other stuff here, like this coin holder for Doom. Let me show you how it works, right? Let me see. Do I have a coin here? I should have a coin here. Did have a coin. Oh, here. A hold the line coin, a matter of fact. All right, so you put your coin in the top, just like that, and it just sits in. And you put it on your desk, and it looks so dope, right? So this is some of the stuff here. This is the hold the line coin, and I'll be sending it with a coin so that you can put in there more, preferably the Doom coin. I do have some Fallout stuff that's here. So those are coin holders. Remember, try my best to treat you members the best. And subs, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for being here. Share out the video. But I told you, I want you to do what I'm about to do, what you should be doing. If you want Grand Theft Auto 6 for free, you got to be following the king. So I want you to go where game is game and win is win. And I want you to try to play the Game Pass. But before you play the Game Pass, I told you I'm the unmitigated best at this. And if you got somebody better than me, then put them up.
What's a man or a king? What's to the saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox. Spin the block, his legs slide. Fast talker, no riddling. Moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's to the saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?